Why, hello, chat. Today, we're going to be covering the dev diary or dev update number 3. I'm not really sure what to
Hello,
have in
Heisters!
store
The
here,
team is
so
still hard at work executing on Operation Medic Bag, but I am
okay.
very excited to be able to bring you Payday 3 news
I kind of don't understand why they put
on
that at the
Operation
bottom
Medic.
here. It says she's the community and influencer manager. So she's the community manager. I've talked about this in the past. When I hit 1,000 views or 1,000 subs on YouTube, I personally contacted Elizabeth. I got her Discord from the Payday Discord and personally contacted them with a very formal and professional paragraph talking about, hey, I just hit 1,000 subs on YouTube. I have this much on Twitch. Um, I do daily streams. I release this, that, and the other, and I was essentially just asking like, hey, am I capable of getting like some masks to give away, maybe copies of the game, referring to Payday 2, to give away, the whole nine. That's what I was looking for. And for this to be like plastered here, community manager and influencer, they don't even answer. Like, I didn't get an answer. They never looked at it. They never read it. Like, come on, your community manager should be like at least interacting with content creators, right? Like, we should be at least interacting with content creators. I've created content for Payday for over 5 years. I've played the game for probably about 10. Uh, what else is there? Like, yeah, I mean, exactly. I've streamed the game for a very long time. I've played the game for a very long time. But when I reach out and ask for a simple, fucking help, like, hey, this is what I want to do for, celebration for my viewers and people that are supporting me, like, I didn't even get a response. So being the community manager and influencer, you need to step it
Bag, but I
up.
am very
Please,
excited to
like,
be
come on,
able to bring you Payday
answer your
3 news
content
once
creators.
again in the form of a new developer update. In today's episode, we'll talk
And I know why they don't answer it, because I don't have a lot of views. I'm not a person that's gaining a lot of traction, so obviously they're not going to answer. Like, that's the way this company works. Like, it's unfortunate that's the way the company works, but that is the way the company works. They're just looking for people that have views and people that speak a different language that aren't partnered already.
about the new
Sad, but
features
that is what it
coming in
is.
the next game update,
Well, that was a
as
weird
well
scope.
as some balance changes. This video
Interesting.
will go by fast and I'll try to stay brief, so check
Okay.
out the links in the description below for the things that have additional information.
Okay. Thank you, lady.
We are starting off strong with the adaptive armor, which we
Okay.
have previously talked about in a blog post from Operation Medic Bag and shown
Yes.
off on stream.
Yes.
If you want to read the blog post, you can find the link in the description below.
I'm not interested.
The adaptive armor has 2 chunks, and each chunk regenerates fully if you manage to avoid damage for a short time.
So, the current armor system in the game is based around like how Stoic works in Payday 2. Stoic works like this in Payday 2. You take damage, you wait 4 seconds, your combo ability triggers, you remove the current damage that you're taking, and then you miss out on some chunks of your HP. So in the way that Payday 2, had it working, or the way that Payday 2 had Stoic working is the same sense that Payday 3 is using the armor system. The current armor system is that you take damage, you wait like 5 or 6 seconds, and then you get that damage back with the little bit of chunks missing. Like, there might be like 10 or 5 armor missing or whatever. It's the same concept as it is in Payday 2 Stoic, but now it's just put into the armor. But now the new armor system works like this.
This means that if you play carefully, you'll be much less vulnerable to your armor's attrition over time. As long as you are able to consistently get into cover, you'll be able to fully recover your armor in a few seconds and continue your heist at full strength.
So, the biggest issue the game had in the past, Payday 3 that is that you essentially always had to bring armor bags for longer missions, right? And if you ran out of armor bags, you pretty much are losing the heist, right? Now that they added a new armor system, I personally don't like the new armor system, but now that they added a new armor system that essentially is always regenerative, you always get your armor back, boom, 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 you always get it back or whatever. Like, it just made the game extremely easy. Now, I want to point something out. Overkill, the hardest difficulty in the game, is easy. I just want to point that out real quick. It's a 100% easy. He's able to beat it on the beta with 7 skills. You're able to beat it in the full game with like 21 skills. Hell, you could have even beaten it with like 4 skills in the beta. So now that they've added another armor system to make it even easier, like Overkill is just a breeze for players that know what they're doing. I just
As
want to
a
point that out.
trade-off, the armor has 2 downs and less damage reduction as
Yes.
compared to what you're used to.
So the armor system is what determines your downs in the game. You have the heaviest armor, you get like 1 down. You have like the second heaviest, you get 2 downs. You have the lightest armor, you get 4. So this armor here only gives you 2 downs. That's all you're working with. Totally fine considering that you probably will never go down using this armor.
So this armor will depend greatly on how well you utilize the unique mechanic of the armor and avoid damage.
Right.
The adaptive armor synergizes really well with our next topic today,
Okay.
the medic bag updates. To
Nice.
further keep you safe when bullets are flying, medic bags will now put excess health into adrenaline for all players.
Interesting.
Any health beyond your maximum and up to 100% of your maximum health pool gets turned into temporary health that acts as a first layer of defense.
So now health is actually in a playable state. Previously, all you had was like first aid kits from civilians, first aid kits that spawn on the map, assets like the medic bag, and players that bring medic bags and so forth. Other than that, there is no real form of health regeneration, like through the skill lines. I still don't believe there's health regeneration through the skill lines, but at least there's adrenaline now. Adrenaline is like an overheal, as they just mentioned. You place that over top of your normal HP, and it essentially can double your HP life. So really interesting nonetheless that every build is capable of doing this. It's really interesting. It does bring another factor of survivability in the game. Just the only issue that they're still having is no health regeneration.
This means that
In
you
the
can
skill
stock
line.
up on adrenaline before you need to run out of cover and into enemy forces.
Right.
Next up,
What she just described makes so much sense, right? Now if you need to make a run across the map, you can just buff yourself as much as you can with all the healing items that you may have, and then you can make that run. Sort of like how the Kingpin was played in the last game. You would wait for your Kingpin injector, and then you would make a move once you had it. You may use it before, you may use it during, you may use it after you take damage, whatever the case is. Similar scenario here.
is the Fortitude skill line.
Fortitude
If
skill
you
line.
really
Another
wanna
skill
make
line.
use of the new medic bag, the new Fortitude skill line empowers and builds upon the medic bag buffs.
Okay.
The skills will both give you extra health that will raise your adrenaline ceiling and also give you powerful boosts for each down you have available.
Okay. So everything she just talked about is really good. They're still missing out on natural life regeneration.
So the less you've gone down, the stronger you will be.
Right. Obviously, that makes sense too. If you don't go down, you'll stay stronger. But the way that that skill tree is integrated is that if you actually aren't taking downs, you're becoming stronger. That makes sense once again. It's a nice little way of playing because armor already is extremely powerful. So now there's a pretty powerful way to play life. Interesting. I
Skill line
applaud that.
also strengthens your medic bags, giving you a boost of adrenaline whenever they're used by an ally.
Okay.
Having any of the game's 3 buffs will provide a percentage damage reduction as well as doubles the effect of each buff.
Okay.
So adrenaline and adaptive armor should work really well together to make you unstoppable. If you want
Okay. So they designed it to be extremely powerful, already considering that the game is really easy in Overkill and the higher difficulties. Now they give us 2 new things that make the game even easier. Gotcha.
to get into the details of the Fortitude skill line, it also has its very own blog post, which is also linked in the description.
I'm not worried about the blog post.
This is Payday 3's third skill line added after release,
Yep,
and
third
we
one.
want to make sure you're empowered to fully utilize them all. This is why you'll also get a skill point increase. This has been
Skill point increase was never needed.
a common thing brought up to us via feature upvote.
Who brought this up? They must be really bad at the game.
Via social media and via streams, and we agreed that this would be a great benefit to your Payday 3 builds.
Okay. So once again, I was capable of soloing on the beta with like 7 skills, even with like 4 skills. the full game, I was capable of soloing like the hardest mission with like max skills, and it was super, super easy. So now they're even adding more skills so that the game becomes even easier. They're adding like skill trees and armor that makes it even easier and less damage, blah blah blah. Like it just doesn't make sense. The game is already extremely easy. I'm looking directly at the cam because that's how serious this is. The game is seriously easy, but then they're gonna add skill downs, or they're gonna add more skills. Like, bruh,
The next update is adding a
20. So now you have 28.
7 extra skill points to the maximum of points you can unlock. These extra points are earnable in between Infamy 0 and 100, meaning that you will have the full 28 skill points at Infamy 100.
Okay, not that we need 28. We could have been fine with like 10, 15 even. But this is something else I want to point out. I kind of just lost my train of thought though. Um, oh, with the skill trees in the game, currently the way they are, for loud at least, you choose like 19 skills that are reoccurring in every build, and then like the leftover points are like spent for like your weapon. That's it. Like everything else is like set in stone for loud, unfortunately. At least the way that I understand the game, the way that I play the game, the way that I'm able to solo and carry lobbies. You just grab the same skills in every build and you switch like a couple skills just for your weapons. Currently, that's the way the game's played, unfortunately.
Final
They
thing
really need
I
to
want
change that.
highlight today is related to skill and weapon balancing.
Okay.
In this update, we made it so you don't break aim down sight while cycling in the R900. It's a small change with a high impact.
Okay.
In addition, the Ziv Commando has been reworked to really lean into the close range weapon archetype.
Okay.
This up
I heard a lot of people complaining about the Ziv Commando, but even in the beta it was strong. If you had the right skills, it was strong. Like the skills to make it reload, I can't remember what the skill's called, but there's a skill that gets your ammo into your mag, and then there's like another one where you headshot people, it puts ammo into your reserve or something, right? Like if you had those skills on that gun, it was fine. But once again, you had to know what skills you needed. Like obviously, if you're giving players 28 skills, they're just gonna throw skills everywhere, and they're not gonna have a pretty solid build. Like I get it.
also brings with it a plethora of skill changes. Most notably, many of the sharpshooter line skills have been buffed to go with the juiced up R900.
Okay.
The misdirect
So they really changed the whole skill line. I know they've changed some other skill lines, like some of the really good like skills. Like they either removed them or changed them. Like I get it. Like yeah, they may have been strong, but now you're making it almost like forced to a play style, right? Like you're almost forcing players to play a certain way.
skill will add a chance to dodge against marked enemies.
Dodge
Kinetic
marked
short
enemies.
circuit
Interesting.
will replenish an ECM jammer when you destroy a zapper battery.
Okay.
And the tank skill line got a new skill added that lets you restore an armor chunk using a repair kit if you have no armor.
Interesting. So there's some new features that essentially like the armor thing and like the health stuff. Like some of these things could have been there at the start, but now that they're adding them, it's totally fine. I don't understand what this scope is doing. Like, is this a bug? Or is that actually the way that it's meant to be?
That is all for today's dev update. Remember,
I do want to mention that they mentioned that marked enemies give you like a percentage of dodge. It's kind of interesting. No one knew if they were going to bring dodge back to this game. And even now, they don't know if dodge is coming to the game. But then them mentioning that there's a percentage of dodge on marked enemies, it's interesting. But do they, do they plan on bringing actual dodge as a skill class back? Like with Houston as an example, will they bring more of a dodge playstyle back with it? I would prefer that because that's kind of the way that I would play the game. Kind of a very elusive style, but it is what it is. Let's see what the rest they have to say here.
remember that everything mentioned in today's video will be available in the next update to Payday 3.
And this stuff is everything she just said is already in the game. I just want to make that clear. Everything that we just seen is in the game. But the other thing I want to make clear is that everything in the game is still being able to be covered in these videos. There's nothing that's completely new. There's nothing that's like not covered in these videos. All these videos still cover everything that's in the game.
Subscribe if you look forward to future dev update videos.
Right.
And hit that notification button.
Right. Okay. So once again, I do appreciate you guys watching this video. What do you guys think about the, dev update number 3? Talking about skill lines, talking about new well, just talking about new skill lines, more skills, changes to skills, more skill points, pretty straightforward stuff. New armor. What do you guys have to say about that? You guys let me know in the comments section. Please like the video, please subscribe if you're new here, and I do appreciate it. Hopefully you guys have a good one.